For the Meath team as they came out onto the pitch, and as we look at the lineup, one thing we notice straight away, Tony, is that Graham Geraghty is there, so if there's any doubts about his fitness, certainly he's fit to start this match anyway.
Yeah, it's vital for their game plan that he is playing, because as Joe was saying, Armagh will leave two in the full forward line, so will Meath. And
the cheer that will greet Armagh footballers back in Croke Park on the big day. This Armagh team to be Ulster champions, and what they hope in 1999 might even be All-Ireland champions.
Well, he was today that Ross Garr made the point that if it came to a very tight battle, he would have more faith in Sean Boylan's tactical. Done very well for them this year so far, and this tactic of clogging the defence and leaving two men up front has worked for them. It'll be interesting to see if
Meath's resistance this afternoon, but no changes among the backs. Speaking of which, the full back line is bound to be seriously examined by either a 2 or 3-man Meath full forward line. John Donaldson has been nominated for duty in midfield, although there are possibilities that he could play elsewhere. Paul McGrain is picked at wing forward, but again, he could be a third midfielder. He might play in the half-forward line, who can tell. The rest of the forwards will in all possibility interchange, but look out in particular for Diarmuid Marsden and Oisin McConville. Well, that is the Armagh team, and they've gone down towards the Hill 16 area. There's Oisin McConville from Crossmaglen, looking forward to a big afternoon here. He's in the same kind of form that he was in the recent Ulster Championship, when he was simply sensational. Well, now it's the Meath team who are coming across to have the photograph taken. With Tommy Dowd again missing, the selectors have decided to leave Well and Good alone, and the same 15 that began against Dublin will start as well. Enda McManus was forced to retire injured in that Leinster final, but he's back in the fold at centre half back. It's Nigel Crawford and John McDermott in midfield, while up front Armagh will be aware of the danger posed by Ollie Murphy, Trevor Giles and Graham Geraghty. Already this year Murphy has scored 2 goals and 9 points. People in Croke Park this afternoon. It was a switch.
I think the safest thing always for me in the dressing room was wait until they put on their jerseys, and then you could just take a look at the programme and see which was which by the numbers on the back of their jerseys. But that's
very scientific, I must say.
Yes, Meath will be playing with the advantage of whatever wind there is at the start. The pitch seems to have dried up well, and already Armagh have changed to Paddy McGrain into his normal position in the middle of the field. I would suspect that Armagh are going to play maybe 7 backs.
And Oisin McConville and Paddy McKeever have also switched positions. It's Armagh who won the toss, and Armagh who will play from left to right in the first half. Paddy Russell from Tipperary, who took charge of 2 All-Ireland finals in the 90s, getting the semi-final underway. Charlotte Burns getting the first touch to it, but then it pops back into the arms of John Donaldson. Kieran McGeeney giving it plenty of air. Spills around loose. They battle inside there, nobody battling harder than Oisin McConville. But again, it comes back towards Meath player, but the ball adjudged to be fouled there by Darren Fay, and it's going to be a free in for Armagh. So first chance of a possible score here, and Oisin McConville, the man who's going to take on the early responsibility. Well, he's a vital free taker for both his club and his county. His Ulster tally in the final of 2-7, the highest ever, remember. This just inside the 45-metre line. Slight breeze against him. Dropping to the left and harmlessly wide in the end. Well, the game will develop a pattern over the next couple of minutes, that we can be sure of. And I suppose it would be something of a surprise if they didn't leave inside of the inside forward line McConville and Diarmuid Marsden at some stage.
Yes, well, Armagh already have brought John Donaldson, who has started at half forward out to around the middle of the field, so it appears as if they're going to play him as a sort of utility back.
Here they come forward once again. Here's Paddy McKeever, and Paddy McKeever commits the foul, and it's going to be a free to Meath. John McDermott taking it down towards Graham Geraghty with the golden boots. This is golden touch with him for the afternoon. And he holds on too long to the ball. Some ferocious tackles coming in there. Very nice foot gear indeed for the afternoon by Graham. The challenge there was unfair by Hank Traynor. Free to Armagh. But you would be expecting a very congested midfield area in this match, because nowadays in the modern game the half forwards in particular drift back into the centre and try and choke that area. It's another free. Kieran McGeaney, who works as an administrator with the Irish Sports Council. This time it's pumped way in there, and this time it just has a little bit too much pace for Ollie Murphy to contain it. Ollie, who was the star of the Meath team during the Leinster final, the scoring star that is, but so many of his scores made for him by Trevor Giles. This is Brendan Tierney playing in his 22nd championship match, known as the character of the side really, and very much known to everybody as Benny. Huge leap in the air by Paul McGrain. Paddy McKeever trying to round foot Cormac Murphy. That won't be easy. First touch wasn't good, but he has it at the second attempt. Murphy trying to go goal side on him. The attempted block fails. The first point of the match has come off the boot of Paddy McKeever. And that after 3 minutes play. Well, there's been this criticism that the scores aren't shared around as evenly as they should be in the Armagh forward line. That time McKeever got away, and the angle shot was absolutely precise in between the posts. That's a good start, and Armagh are playing, it would seem, against a light breeze, but you never can tell around Croke Park. Varies so much. That's a huge leap. Again Armagh bring it forward. Controlled play by Tony McEntee. Enda McManus. John McDermott feeding it ahead here towards Paddy Reynolds. Fouled, free to Meath. Trevor Giles taking the responsibility. Kicking into a goal which has two McNultys in the full back line and Gerard Reid in between them. 55 metres out this kick. Very good work back there by Jarlath Burns, the Armagh captain, getting it out towards Kieran Hughes. Taken forward once again here by John Donaldson. And the end result of all of that is a sideline ball to the Royal County. John Donaldson, who played in 4 championship matches for Louth, but Armagh is his native county. Trevor Giles with a huge one. That's dropping down, and again some great work back there. Jarlath Burns again helping the goalkeeper Brendan Tierney. That's 2 very fine catches he's made there from long-range efforts from Trevor Giles. Worked out towards Paul McGrain. Yet another free kick. A lot of frees in the early part of the game here.
Yes, well, if Armagh persists with a short passing game out of defence, it will suit Meath fine. Meath love playing against teams who do that sort of tactics because it allows a lot of players to get in tackles. In that case, Armagh probably felt that they can't kick the ball upfield because they're short men. But it's a bad policy against the Meath forward line.
Giles to strike this one. I've noticed that John McDermott's gone way up towards the top of the left position to take his marker with him. And that has sailed over the crossbar. Fine shot by Trevor Giles from the free. Support for both counties here about 50-50. And in Croke Park it's a point apiece.
Yes, and it's amazing, Ger, that the last time Armagh played in a semi-final there was 17,000 at it in 1982.
Yes, it was a wonderful effort here and a marvellous catch. Tierney's kick fisted on there by Jarlath Burns. Running into space for it is John McEntee. There's support here, however. Oisin McConville trying to go around Enda McManus. Still McConville, 3 Meath men near him. Still worked inside there towards Paul McGrain. They free it outside towards Tony McEntee, looking for another score. And just outside the right-hand post this time. And McEntee just out of luck. Part of the Cross-Maglen contingent here in this Armagh football team. Well, keeping tabs on the news from the sideline for the afternoon for us is our reporter, Marty Morrissey.
Well, it's very obvious even at this stage, Ger, that Armagh are extremely nervous. Their handling is rather poor. It's a factor that Brian McAlinden and Brian Canavan are very concerned about. McAlinden has already gone down to his defence and told his players to clear the ball as effectively and as efficiently as possible.
Right into the middle it comes. John McDermott contesting there with Jarlath Burns. Breaks loose to Hank Traynor. Outside towards Evan Kelly, who's up around the right half forward position, being pursued by Andrew McCann. Good ball inside towards Ollie Murphy. Players running ahead for it. And that final effort has gone over the bar. It's a very fine score indeed. A hit over it there by Evan Kelly. Kelly from Drumree. His first point, and it's 2 points to 1. He'll be very pleased indeed with that particular shot. Got away from his man there, Enda McNulty, and it was a fine left-footed kick.
Yes, and a typical Meath point, a long ball out of defence, won by a forward and laid off, and a score straight away. No short passing really at all.
McDermott sailing up for that one, but unable to hold it completely. He was dragged down. Dermot Marsden just standing in front of him, too near. Darren Fay, rated the best full-back in the country. Beautiful pass. Ollie Murphy. Joe Reid alongside him. Murphy trying to make a better angle for himself. Should be Tierney's and is. This is Enda McNulty. Playing at his 8th championship match. John Donaldson back helping the defence to Kieran McGeaney. Typical Armagh, coming it out slowly and trying to work it in a measured fashion. But then that final pass picked up here by Paddy Reynolds. Nigel Crawford. Big jump, but again it falls down to Jarlath Burns. Now Donaldson. Nobody on Darren Fay. Marsden still operating at left half forward. That's Hank Traynor. Bad pass. What a scrappy football. Andrew McCann. Nicely worked outside here. Great block down that time. The effort was by John McEntee, but a very finely worked effort to foil the Armagh forward. That's Donald Curtis is tripped. And the referee's patience, I think, running a bit thin, and he's noting the number.
Well, in that passage of play, we see the problems that both sets of backs are going to have. Because when they kick the ball upfield, our forwards are outnumbered on both sides. Yet, a lot of the kicking there was of a very poor standard. Players not looking up and seeing where they were going to kick it to.
Trevor Giles kicking from again about 50 metres out. Dropping in the whole way, and again back there is Jarlath Burns. He's collected 3 balls back there from frees. Nicely played outside here towards the centre half forward, Tony McEntee. Well, his solo effort is foiled by Enda McManus. Surrounded by Armagh players. Murphy getting it back towards Trevor Giles. Two men in the inside forward line. Graham Geraghty breaking it down here. Donald Curtis is trying to make some advances and does so very effectively and puts it over the bar. Not known as a high-scoring forward by any manner of means, more a utility player. There was nothing wrong with that. But that's where the two-man attack worked there, but to make it 3 points to 1. Graham Geraghty with a huge leap in the air, touched it down to Donald Curtis, a little jink this way and that, and a very good finish.
Yes, the good thing from a Meath point of view to start is that 2 of the points from play have come from the forwards who wouldn't be recognised as the principal scorers.
That's broken down again by Nigel Crawford. Nobody attempted to catch it in midfield. Kieran McGeaney was going down, Sean Donaldson indeed, and the referee says he picked the ball off the ground. Trevor Giles about to hit this free. This time I think fancying his chances of kicking it from the hands. He's giving it plenty of air, but not the direction he wanted. It's 2 wides now for Meath, and it's 3 points to 1. Let's go back to the sideline and Marty.
Yes, Ger, still great concern in the Armagh management sector, because they're very concerned about their half-forward line malfunctioning at the moment. So much so that nervousness seems to be affecting Tony McEntee in particular, and they've switched the brothers. John McEntee is now out in the wing-forward position, Tony McEntee in the corner.
John McDermott can't catch this one. Nigel Crawford is the next one in, but that one is swallowed up by Paul McGrain. But then a huge gap between the Armagh middlemen, as it were, and the men up front, and that's a hefty blow there on Tony McEntee, feeling his head.
Yes, this is an ugly looking thing. The two heads obviously clashed there very hard. Both players are down injured. Hopefully it's not too serious.
Darren Fay, the man involved in this accidental clash here. Fay was going down to try and take possession, and the shoulders were more heads, weren't they? Tony McEntee being attended to by Dan Turley from Belfast, the physio who looks after this Armagh side. That seems to be Brian McAlinden, who's also in there. One of the joint managers, of course, with Brian Canavan. Brian, who was the goalkeeper, this Brian McAlinden, who was the goalkeeper from 1976 up to 1990. Fay's okay. Well, this is from another angle, Darren Fay and the clash of heads there, but thankfully both men are now okay. If a little shaken.
Yes, 2 of the toughest players on each team running into each other, so something had to give, I suppose.
John McDermott trying to grab this one. It's taken back again by Paddy McKeever. Armagh's only scorer so far. Getting it out there towards Oisin McConville. 3-4 Meath players surrounding him, hoping that he'll overhold. Doesn't do so. Good backup play there involving Andrew McCann. That's Kieran McGeaney. Great ball in. Opportunities here. And it's buried! Inevitably, Diarmuid Marsden. 15 minutes gone. Marsden the Magnificent. Armagh go in front by 1-1 to 3 points. This was dropped in here, in towards Marsden, and a real belter, giving Cormac O'Sullivan no chance whatsoever, and that's the first goal that Meath has conceded in this year's championship. Nigel Crawford dropping it in towards Graham Geraghty, and 2 Armagh players were in there next to him, and the one who got it away seemed to be Enda McNulty. It's back again, however. Darren Fay way up there with the forwards.
Well, Jared, that's an absolutely brilliant goal altogether, and it just shows how Marsden needs to be marked so tightly. But what we've seen there, if we had to see it a little bit earlier, Hank Traynor just gets caught the wrong side of Marsden for the defender. He should have kept goal side. And there's very few forwards in the game like Marsden who can finish like that.
I've just noticed that Armagh seem to be preparing Alan O'Neill on the far side. I wonder, are they thinking about a change earlier on, as Ger Reid here is lectured by referee Paddy Russell, and there's a little bit more than that. There's a yellow card. First of the match.
Well, I think Tony McEntee is still in trouble from that head injury, so Armagh are going to have to put on a sub.
Well, it's an early stage of the match to have to make a change. Armagh trying to burrow their way out from that half-back line. Kieran McGeeney, superb centre-half back. Up towards McKeever, spills loose towards Marsden again. That always spells trouble. It spells trouble too when Oisin McConville has it. Back once again towards Tony McEntee. And McKeever is McConville dragged. If he mused, look at the face of Enda McManus. You can't be serious, referee, can you? Seems to be what he's saying. So
I think, Ger, what the Armagh tactics are, they're trying to get Diarmuid Marsden isolated inside on Hank Traynor. Even though Marsden is nominally playing at half out, he actually is moving in close to goal and hoping to bring Traynor back into a position where Armagh feel he's obviously vulnerable.
Oisin McConville playing in his 8th championship match, looking for his first point of the day. And it's put in wide. He can't believe it. He's put it wide. 3 wides now for Armagh. But the goal by Diarmuid Marsden critical. It still keeps them just a point ahead. This is from inside in the goal, and Cormac Sullivan had little chance. Yeah. Broken down again. Mark O'Reilly. Up towards Donald Curtis, getting away from Justin McNulty. That time it's his brother Enda McNulty who gets out there first time. Feeds it to McGeeney. Up towards Diarmuid Marsden, but there were 2 men on him, fed beautifully forward by Enda McManus. Again, there are plenty of Armagh players. It's a peculiar kind of game. A lot of work here for Oisin McConville to do, but he gets there. He's been marked by Mark O'Reilly. Tony McEntee's there in support. He had to go himself, McConville. There were other options available to him. And to his credit, Tony McEntee was quite close to him. Might have expected a pass from McConville. Seemed to be saying, well, you did the best thing possible.
Well, scoring into that Canal goal is very difficult. I was down there earlier, and where the new stand hasn't yet joined up with the Hogan stand, there's a gush of wind coming through there, and it's very difficult to score into that Canal goal because the ball is going to be taken towards the Cusick stand.
Ollie Murphy looks to be in serious trouble. The team doctor, is Owen Clark, is down there to attend to him. Now this looks very serious, having to be taken off the pitch. Their best forward in the Leinster Championship. Anne Burton is the lady in there. Sean Boylan as well, showing his concern. Let's just look at this again and see if we can see what happened here. Yeah, the hamstring seemed to go, didn't it? Well, that looks the end of his involvement for the day.
Yes, it may be a twisted knee or an ankle. If it was an ankle, it might be possible to bandage it up, but if it's a knee, I think he'd be out of the game.
John Donaldson is fouled. This is kicked ahead by Diarmuid Marsden into the path of Tony McEntee. Fed inside towards Paul McGrain. Trying to get away from Paddy Reynolds and Enda McManus. And the Meath backs strong in that kind of a situation, but it reaches Diarmuid Marsden. And I think there you have to credit the Meath backs, because they harassed and they harried and they did everything possible to make it impossible for Diarmuid Marsden to get a decent shot in. And coming in, it seems, is Ray McGee, who of course has championship experience from the last couple of years. So a big moment for him now to take over the role of Ollie Murphy. This is Andrew McCann. Lobbed forward here towards Tony McEntee. Couldn't hold it, however. Instead, it's Paddy Reynolds. It runs completely loose, but in the end, Nigel Nestor just manages to get a touch on it and hold possession. John McDermott, how they need a big performance from John this afternoon, and from Trevor Giles. Kieran McGeeney. Meath will have expected, in spite of their favouritism in the papers and so on, tenacity from Armagh as Ray McGee comes into the Meath team. I'm sure it'll be a direct replacement for Ollie Murphy.
Yes, Ray McGee would be a natural right corner forward, kicks with the left foot, but with Tommy Dowd gone now, Meath are short two of their first choice in the full forward line.
Enda McManus looking to get in on the scoring act, a huge one in. That's a magnificent point by Enda McManus. Doesn't score very often, but he's done it here and he's tied up the match, and the sides are level at 1-1 to 4 points. So the teams are level for the second time, and that's the sad scene of Ollie Murphy being forced to leave the pitch. I hope it's not a serious injury. Brian McAlinden there having a chat with the linesman. So the man from Carnaross forced to leave the game in some distress. Fisted back there by Darren Fay, but won back again by John McEntee. Going by Paddy Reynolds. Promising move. Good work by Reynolds to win it back. Nigel Nestor feeding it out to Enda McManus. Now John McDermott. They mix the short with the long. Ray McGee trying to get his first touch in the game. Justin McNulty. Fumble is there, and it comes back again to Ray McGee. Nobody ahead of him. He's got Graham Geraghty just a couple of yards to his right. Kicking himself, looking for the score. And he's put it wide. His first shot. It's almost a game where you build from the back and then at a precise moment you pull the trigger and off you go.
Yes, and Armagh running into trouble because with them playing seven backs, they must nearly work the ball up to a certain point before they can kick it in, otherwise they're just going to give it away.
Charlotte Burns was beaten there by a magnificent leap in the air by John McDermott. We expected this kind of massive bodies in the midfield area, and that's what we're now getting. We've seen both teams do it in the past. Kicked ahead. Beautifully won by Oisin McConville. Fed ahead towards McKeever. Another chance here. And McKeever has got a second goal for Armagh. After the first. Alarming gaps appearing in the Meath full back line. And when McConville won it, he had McKeever in support. The sea of Armagh fans waving their orange and white flags. It's 2-1 to 4 points. It's a dream start for Armagh. Kieran Hughes. Plenty of support available for him. Again it's towards McKeever. Having a very good match. The mark by Cormac Murphy. Head inside towards Dermot Marsden. Can they get another one into space? This time it's mopped up, however. And the man who took it there was Mark O'Reilly. Free quickly taken outside to Trevor Giles. Evan Kelly. Down towards Graham Geraghty. Jerry just got a touch to it. Back towards Donald Curtis. Away from Hughes. Back it comes once again. Nigel Nestor trying his luck. And this time, with the aid of goalkeeper Brendan Tierney, has put it over the bar. But Nigel Nestor will take the credit for that. His first point of the match.
Well, Ger, with Meath backs are really to the wall now after this goal. Once the ball can be got out of this ruck in the middle of the field, there's plenty of room up front, as we can see here.
This was the goal again. McConville feeding it inside for McKeever, despairing attempts to deny him, but he wasn't to be denied. and it was lobbed ahead over the head of Mark O'Reilly. Nigel Nestor was closest to McKeever at the end of all of that. Armagh with more goals than points, just 1 point, and their top scorer Paddy McKeever. Who would have thought that going into this match? That's Enda McNulty feeding it out there towards John Donaldson, trying to get away there from Evan Kelly. Well, that's Kieran Hughes back there challenging. Well, an amazing setup really in terms of the goals that Armagh have put through there. Kieran Hughes being spoken to there. I wonder, was it Kieran Hughes rather than McKeever who actually got the goal? Let's have a look at it again, because I think he may have been the one. It may have been 5 rather than 15.
Yes, it was Kieran Hughes, broke from the half-back line, got inside Nigel Nestor, and Nestor wasn't able to get back in front of him to get in a tackle.
Similar build to McKeever at the other end. This was Oisín McConville playing it inside. Yes, it was Kieran Hughes up in the attack, and Hughes who planted it.
Yes, when Armagh get the ball forward, Oisín McConville is getting a lot of room up there, and he's using it to advantage.
McGee's kick, and that has gone to the left. Certainly Meath are having their problems now. Without Tommy Dowd from the outset, without Ollie Murphy, Ray McGee struggling to find his best form so far.
Yeah, Brendan Tierney now in the Armagh goal should be kicking these balls away from John McDermott. He's kicked a couple out there, and McDermott has picked them out of the air.
This is broken down here, and Evan Kelly again punting it in, and the inside forward line racing to try and contain it here, and Donald Curtis almost colliding with the camera. Let's just take a look at this again here. Nigel Nestor the one. Ooh, dear goodness, there was a fist there from Justin McNulty. Let's go back to the sideline for some more news from Marty.
Just an update on Ollie Murphy's health. It's a right knee problem that he never ever had in his footballing career, and he's very disappointed. He's received a pain-killing injection and will be brought to hospital shortly.
Dear, oh dear, oh dear. I was reading Jarlath Burns during the week saying that we're the best of friends, but whenever we meet we always have a row, and then we have a meal together afterwards.
Yes, well, in this case the ball breaks in the middle of the field. There was a free in the first instance. Referee doesn't give it, and when these sort of melees develop, you know, referee should be in there straight away and give a free to one side.
Well, the referee is chatting there with Paul McGrain. Mick Curley from Galway, who's the linesman on this near side, may have had a better view of it.
Well, I think if we see it again, the break came down there to Trevor Giles, and you know, he was obviously fouled, and when he didn't get the free, then the incident developed around that.
This is the beginning of all of that. Jarlath Burns number 8, Trevor Giles trying to get away, Kieran Hughes there also, Kieran McGeaney just in the background, and then everybody got involved. Some more sideline news from Marty.
Well, it's the first time since I started doing the sideline reporting job that I saw one manager go up to another and complain about what was happening on the field. Brian McAlinden just had a few words with Sean Boylan.
It's definitely going to be a free this time, and it's a free to Armagh. Although a leisurely kick forward there. Back towards Paddy McKeever. And McKeever's kick, it's a beauty. 2 points now for McKeever. Absolutely thrilled Armagh fans. They came here with lots and lots of hope. They may have been the outsiders for many people, but it's Paddy McKeever who strikes this one beautifully. touched down there by Jarlath Burns. Ray McGee surrounded and fouled. Taken by Trevor Giles inside towards Graham Geraghty. Geraghty fancying his chances, why not? He swings around and pivots beautifully. And that's Graham Geraghty, the captain's first point of the game. Now really it's up to players like Geraghty with great experience and great talent to give the leadership. And Sean Boylan will expect nothing less from his charges. 2-2 to 6 points, so just 2 points between the teams.
Yes, and Meath have made a switch in their back line. Darren Fay is now picking up Oisin McConville. I think that's a fairly wise move on Meath's part. Perhaps they'll look for a change and put a stickier player on Diarmuid Marsden as well.
John McDermott, another very fine catch in midfield. Cormac Murphy dropped ahead. This time Jerry just gets the left hand to it. Graham Geraghty still exerting pressure. Was there a trip there? Play on, the referee seems to say initially, and now he said the ball was touched on the ground, and it's going to be a free out against Graham Geraghty's team. Reid from the Era O Club. Contained beautifully by John McEntee. Inside, towards the two-man inside forward line, Tony McEntee. And of course this man, Oisin McConville. Breaks back out once again. This time it's Paddy McKeever. And that is another one. Tremendous kick. So it's 2-3 to 6 points. And McKeever's had a very, very good first half. Cormac Sullivan kicking this one. Fisted by Jarlath Burns, really up for the occasion.
Well, Paddy McKeever must have been to about 3 masses this morning. They're two of the best points that any left-footed kicker could take from the left wing in Croke Park.
Well, Meath have created 15 scoring chances so far against 10 for Armagh. Kieran McGeaney being spoken to. It'll be a free to Meath. Trevor Giles will take it. Trevor Giles so far just 1 free converted out of 4. This is about 38 metres out. That curls and curls sufficiently, and inside the left-hand post. A second for Giles. So the edge closer again, 2-3 to 7 points. That is 9 points to 7. Sean Boylan will be anxious to get his team in the next minute or so, settle them down and try and get the game plan going again.
Well, the very nature of this game is very physical around the middle of the field. I think the referee would be better off if he blew up the incidents a lot quicker.
Broken again. So much broken ball. This is to Enda McNulty. Dispossessed. Trevor Giles trying to swing free from the attentions of a couple of players. Armagh get the free. I think Trevor Giles is making the point, I had no way possible of releasing the ball because my hands were being pulled back.
And that's an incredible decision by the referee.
McGeaney. It breaks down to Enda McManus. Support here from John McDermott. Partly blocked there by Paddy McKeever. Match in injury time. Cormac Murphy. Good solo burst forward. Well, what the wing back of Armagh could do earlier, what could Cormac Murphy do? Doesn't matter. It's out with Ray McGee. Steadied himself sufficiently to put it over the bar. His first point after about 3 attempts. Sean Boylan will be a great deal happier now heading towards the break, with just, as you can see, the minimum between the teams. the referee playing the time added on for the injury to Ollie Murphy in particular. And there was also the clash of heads, of course. John McDermott getting there ahead of Cormac Murphy, his colleague. Feeding it inside towards Donald Curtis, skipping away from the challenge of Justin McNulty. It's still Donald Curtis, holding up the point of the attack, waiting for Trevor Giles to come on. Now Ray McGee. Kieran McGinney tries to go in to close him down. Other options available. Paddy Reynolds comes forward, still trying to get through that Armagh defence. McGinney stops him in the end. It's out to Paddy McKeever. That pass had to be precise, and my goodness, two Meath men tried to read the flight path, but Oisin McConville showing determination to get there. McKeever now, and they've won it free. That's the determination of Armagh this afternoon. That ball could easily have been snuffed out and been blown down the other end of the field, and instead, by the tenacity and skill and craft of the Armagh forwards, they're in an attacking position. John McEntee trying to set up the opportunity. It's lost, however. Cormac Murphy having difficulty picking the ball up. Still there's a chance. Possible goal again here. Well, Diarmuid Marsden trying to rip apart the Meath defence. He may finish the half with a goal and a point to his credit. It was there when Cormac Murphy just failed to pick the ball up cleanly, and Marsden was in like a flash.
Well, Marsden has all the qualities of a good forward. He has power and pace and can score. I think maybe Meath will be better off with Mark Riley on him.
It's Marsden, McConville and McEntee in that inside forward line, and they'll be looking forward to the second half, as are we, of course. Diarmuid Marsden got the first goal after 15 minutes, and it was Kieran Hughes who got the second, the number 5, after 24. Up there in the attacking situation, finished like an inside forward or a corner forward. And in this Bank of Ireland second semi-final, the issue very much in doubt. Who'll play Cork in the final? It's all to play for at half-time here in Croke Park. It's Armagh 2-4, Meath 8 points. Remember, it is 8 points to 2-4.
Yes, and Meath have made a change in their backline already. Hank Traynor has now taken Tony McEntee, Cormac Murphy on Diarmuid Marsden.
Let's see how all of that will pan out. John McDermott dragged down there by John Donaldson. Trevor Giles taking the free kick. Up towards Graham Garrett, he spills forward, he still has a chance. Rescues it. Jerry trying to keep him out. And in the end, it's fisted across the face of goal, and Justin McNulty is there to take it. Support here from Paul McGrain. Hit into space towards the 3-man inside forward line as it is right now. And that'll vary quite a bit as the game develops. Darren Fay, huge one in, over the head there, and the end, Ger Reid flicks it back towards Brendan Tierney. Back again, at least for a moment there by Meath. Into McManus. Down to the head by Mark O'Reilly, in towards Graham Garrity. He's fouled, the referee decides, by Ger Reid. A free from the 20-metre line. So Meath have this chance.